Greetings from Costa Rica. We had a bit of a chaotic start there. Camille and I have actually been sitting here for 5 or 6 minutes thinking that we were broadcasting live. Actually, quite a few more minutes than 5 or 6. My sincere apologies, folks. Today is our live presentation from this brand new Costa Rica jungle home for sale. When I say brand new, this is my colleague Camille's newest exclusive listing, or one of them. This was a house that after years sort of being just managed by friends of the owners, finally has been brought up to pristine condition and really prepared to sell. Originally, designers put incredible thought into every detail about creating this luxury jungle home here, where you've got live tree trunks, or rather the trees are no longer live, but the actual wood tree trunks, 19 of them, as the structure for the house. As we walk through Casa Almendro today, you'll see just how gorgeous that design is. They also integrated designer lighting into the concept so that you have one of the coolest interior spaces in Guanacaste. Thanks very much for joining me, Camille. Tell us just a little bit about where we are while we check on YouTube to see if there are any questions.
Yes, thank you, Matt. Well, I'm very happy. We're sitting here. It's beautiful. We're surrounded by nature, which is truly, for me, and well, I guess for everyone who knows Guanacaste well enough, this is the true Guanacaste scenario. And you know, it's surrounded by so many trees, and then we hear the birds and the breeze in the trees. And we're located at the end of a street in a small neighborhood. So that also is great, because then, you know, being at the end of this neighborhood, then you guarantee your peace, right? You cannot hear the main road, which is just a few hundred meters down, but that also guarantees you a very easy access from Tamarindo, from Liberia Airport, and also a very short drive to all the beaches we have around here.
Yep, I'll ask Dimitri to prepare the driving clip. The location here, I'm actually very jealous of this home. It just so happens that I live down the road. It would actually be an earlier file name, like 87, or yeah. We actually live just down the road here, and we can get tired of people driving past our house. This particular home is at the end of our neighborhood, where you have absolutely zero people who would pass by your house. In this video clip now that we've got ready to roll, I'm driving up the road to the property. You'll see that, first of all, our little neighborhood here is a really lovely example of what I think the more ecological projects should look like. There's a heck of a lot of forest cover. There are not many homes. There are only 14 possible back in here. And we've had very low density construction because of the size of the lots. As we drive up the little hill here and around to this property itself, they actually purchased 2 of the properties so that they have a full hectare and a little bit more of land, 2 lots combined. They have a private driveway even wrapping up and off the main road from our neighborhood. So you are truly just tucked back into this little corner where no one should ever pull up your driveway except for your visitors. The property has an amazing garage and storage area. And as you see, as we get out of the car here, it's a really impressive 2-story jungle home here. Some of the things that they did in this house are absolutely unparalleled in terms of the technology used. You will not see some of the gadgets. What are your favorites from the house, Camille?
Well, what I like for living here for so long, I really like the openings to create airflows, you know, on the upper side of the walls through the house. So then when you sit inside at noon, you don't even need air conditioning because it's actually very cool. Yeah. So I think this is very smart, and it's also a good way to save on energy, right? Not only money, but also for sustainability. I find it very important since we live in the tropics here.
Yep.
I love the fans too. Like those beautiful smart fans. I mean, I'm not sure how to explain it, but I think it's. I could feel it right when we came here several times that it's very efficient.
Yeah.
And also, well, the material they used to build, right, rather than concrete, even though it feels like concrete and it looks like concrete, those are actually the most eco-friendly blocks you can find.
Yep.
Right. And so they built the whole house with this material, which was very avant-gardist a few years ago here in Costa Rica, because you couldn't find any of these materials in the country.
I am going to do something revolutionary here on YouTube and join the show from my cell phone. I want to show you the ceiling fans here. If you would add that to the stage, Dimitri. Here we have smart ceiling fans throughout the main home that are this design that actually is incredibly efficient. The design also makes it so that basically you don't hear the fans, which is incredibly important. We can remove that from the stream. Thank you. It's one of a billion features where they overspent on the technology needed. My wife and I would go in. I'm sorry, this is still on, and I can hear myself on the camera. This is technology that they overspent on in order to make this the perfect eco home. The fans, if you set them up to do so, will turn on when you enter a room. The whole airflow issue, like Camille mentioned, we're sitting here in the heat of the midday in Guanacaste. We are in the outdoor temperature, essentially, or outdoor air because we're on a screened-in porch. I'm in jeans, and I'm not even sweating that much. And really, I was sweating while we were running around getting ready. But now just sitting here is extremely comfortable, even though it's noon on the equator here in Guanacaste. Let's talk. So first of all, I want to mention that overspending on technology, yes, there was close to $1 million invested in this house. These people went to the absolute extreme to try and, originally it did have solar panels. Now it's solar ready because that system proved to be problematic. But as you take a little look at the interior of the property, I want to mention that everywhere that we walk in this next video clip, you'll see lighting that is designed so that no harsh light falls on your eyes. You'll also see that in every corner, the live tree edges were worked beautifully into the corners of rooms. At one point, we go into a bathroom even, where in the shower, they had to custom cut the wall system to fit around the wood. So let's imagine Camille and I weren't sitting here. Get up from the couch and take a virtual spin around the house, please, Dimitri. Here we go. As we start down the porch here, you can see that they created absolutely enormous space. And I'm realizing this is going to be a shorter clip where we just go through the master bedroom. The lighting here, if you'd pause it, is a great example. Oh, never mind. The lighting we looked at is a great example of that upward facing beam. And as we try and cue up the longer clip, hopefully we got one where we have a bit more. Coming into the main space here, you're going to see just how they lifted the ceiling and created an enormous main room so that you've got tons and tons of space to get away from that hot air. If you have low ceilings, you're never going to be able to really feel cool in Guanacaste. It looks like I'm going to have to go on a virtual tour here, folks. My apologies. We had tried to get a longer video clip uploaded, but in a first for YouTube, I'm once again going to join the tour, and I'm going to take you around this house live from my phone as we discuss some of the features.
Yeah, so you will see while Matt is plugging into his, can I jump in? Yes?
Plugging into my what?
Just while you do your thing on the on the phone, I wanted to say how much I really like the layout too of this home, because you have the master downstairs and this giant living space downstairs, and then you have the 3 other bedrooms upstairs with 1 bathroom upstairs, and you also have a giant outdoor space upstairs. So it's really like you have 2 houses almost in one. I really like the layout.
Cue up our phone here, Dimitri. This is just a cool example of how the whole house integrates these columns. Everything was originally built with a steel structure that's holding on to these tree trunks, and then in every space they worked the trunks into the design, painstakingly shaping every single wall so that it fits perfectly along the trunk. They also went overboard spending on the sliding doors and all of the windows here. You have extremely high quality sliders. Here's the utility room. Looking out here, we've got the garage where I parked not too long ago. They spent on hardscaping. Here you can see just how cool those posts are. And as we go upstairs, hopefully I'll keep my connection with the audio. One of the amazing things that they did up here was this wraparound balcony. So you have tons and tons of space to enjoy the forest canopy up here. We're wrapping around to the main patio upstairs. And here you can appreciate just how beautiful the view is, how wonderful it would be to enjoy the monkeys going by, etc. If you wanted to put solar panels, the home is completely solar ready right there. And coming up here, we're actually in one of the 3 upstairs bedrooms. Again, you've got that lighting only facing upwards, smart fan, live trunk worked perfectly into the wall. And just this beautiful room up here as your sort of upstairs foyer. Here's the bathroom I had mentioned previously, where they have the tree worked perfectly, even into the tiled wall. Just a really cool feature that comes throughout the house. Again, as we come down the stairs here, you can see how the trees are worked into the design. Everything, the cabinetry, was done with local hardwoods as well, custom for this house. Once again, you can see how they worked in perfectly the shelves there. And finally, on the downstairs level, we have the master suite, again with custom hardwood cabinetry, gorgeous views out to the forest, the trees, and the best part of all about the house, its current listing agent, Camille Burlette, absolute real estate superstar. So we're going to go back to the main camera now. Wow, it's so existential seeing myself. Anyway, that is Casa Almendro in a nutshell here in Guanacaste. Now, you might be amazed to find out with that $1 million budget, with all that you see here, with the over 2,000 square feet of living space, they're going to be asking $600,000 for this home, or rather $595,000. Let's bring up the listing profile for just a moment so that people can see it. These folks have owned this home for a while. They had to renew some things in order to get it ready for sale, and they have underpriced it to move forward and sell the home as soon as possible. Especially because you've got a full hectare of land here, and because you've got really tons of flat space on this lot, you do have a lot of room to expand. If people wanted to move back here and add a pool or guest house, that would absolutely be possible on this property. Here we're looking at some of the photos from it, and if you want to know more about this listing or any of Camille's exclusive listings, you'll be able to email her at camille@cbpacificrealty.com. If you just need to get an easier address, you can email me, matt@costaricamatt.com. Give us some other thoughts on the house, Camille. If you were an Airbnb manager in our area and you had this running perfectly, how much would you rent it for in the high season?
Well, I think a house like this one would probably be rented around $300, maybe $300 a night.
Absolutely.
Because you have one big master and then the three slightly smaller bedrooms upstairs, right? So you cannot host like 20 people in the house, even though it's a very big volume one. I think it would be very nice and stand out, just because of the location.
Yep.
Because there are so few Airbnbs where you don't have a construction nearby nowadays in our area.
Oh, I know.
It's the sad reality.
That's worth its weight in gold, to be sure.
Yes, and then, well, if you wanted to do really a short-term rental, I would definitely add a pool. Because then you're tucked in here, and then you can swim in the pool, and then you don't have to drive to the beach to get wet.
Totally.
So that would be an addition I would do, but yes, I'm very sure it would do very well.
That pool and the surrounding oasis, I'll even throw in our photos of the home as they are, would absolutely be llamativo, or they would call out to people on Airbnb. You can see from the photos on the listing profile with the tree trunks, the metal, all of these really cool tropical elements brought together. It's a house that stands out, and that's exactly what you want for your potential investment property. It needs to be, for lack of a better word, clickbait. And there has to be something that sort of draws people in. Or else you're just going to fight for those rentals among the vast number available. The home is sold almost furnished. It is not complete, so it'd actually be a great property for a family who's in Guanacaste right now. I see a lot of people circulating around the province who are looking for a comfortable home. There aren't many 4 bedrooms on the market. It tends to be 3 or 2 bedroom homes that you see most commonly.
Yes, and what I like also about this house is that it has this very homey feel and also layout. So I'm with you, Matt. Like, this would be perfect for also a family who lives here, right? You have the master bedroom downstairs, so you're private, and then you can have the kids upstairs. You can also make an office of one of the rooms upstairs, to have a place to work for remote workers as well.
Yep.
So yes, this is a very homey layout and very comfortable layout.
That's what I really feel as well. First of all, the lighting adds so much to that feeling.
Oh, yes.
Overall, the design, because they incorporated enough wood and sort of, everything's painted a very nice, just straight white, but between wood, the white, the off earth tone tile, black edges on the doors. It feels very comfortable and like not like a home where I would be scared to touch things or to like,
No, exactly. Well, and it makes it very easy for the lucky buyer, to make it their own, because everything is modern, but also very natural.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to bring up your style into the house, right?
Absolutely. There's tons of opportunity for that as well. And, I don't think this kind of home will ever be replicated here.
No.
You don't see other people attempting this, and with good reason. It took much longer than they anticipated to build this home. It was a far greater cost than they would have anticipated. Mm-hmm. Every time they went to cut one of those walls and put it right up against the tree, that process added so much complexity and difficulty versus a metal frame home where, you're putting 90-degree angles together with zero problem. So these live edges are something that honestly you won't really see in many other homes ever in Guanacaste. And at $595,000, the asking price is designed to try and attract a quick sale. You won't see houses of this size, 4 bedrooms with a full hectare of land on the market.
Well, and most importantly, you could not have this size of land and do a replica of this house for the same price.
Correct. The replacement cost cannot be matched.
No.
You would have to build a very, very cheap, flimsy per square foot kind of home to get even close to the same amount of space that you have here. So trying to replace it would cost you a ton more these days.
Yeah, well, and then it's a win, because then you don't even have to bother going through the building process, which is an adventure, right? It can be great, but it's a process. So I think this is a really good, almost turnkey, besides the furniture that you want to accommodate your own, but then I think it's very rare actually to find this kind of well-designed, thought through, big, spacious house at this price. This is definitely a price to sell.
Absolutely. The inventory isn't out there. Definitely not with this kind of intriguing, just utterly beautiful design with the trees. We need to get back here at night so that we can also show off just how spectacular this place looks in the interior then. If you want to know more, you can get on our website and look for Casa Almendro. Our site is cbpacificrealty.com. Again, you can also just email me, Matt, at costaricamatt.com, and I'll be happy to send you the listing profile. Though, again, this is Camille's listing. Casa Almendro has an asking price of $595,000. It incorporates some of the most unique luxury jungle items that you can see. We will be doing more videos, a lot more formally on my channel about it. Thanks very much for tuning in, folks.